Not a scientist. I'm not an expert in footballs. I'm not an expert in football measurements.
I don't want anyone rubbing them, putting any air in them, taking any air out. To me, those balls are perfect, and that's what I expect when I throw.
I can't throw it over football. It's so goddamn hard about holding on to it.
From the dawn of time, we came, moving silently down through the centuries, living many secret lives, struggling to reach the time of the gathering, when the few who remain will battle to the last. There can be only one. On this show, though, there can be two, sometimes even three. Welcome to the Fantasy Millionaires Week 6 recap and Week 7 look ahead. Stacks, how was your week?
I'm not going to lie. In one of the most important leagues where I am a twice champion now, twice defending, I'm going for a three-peat, basically. In that league, I defeated you. And so I'm living high on the hog.
Not over. It's not over. I just need 100 points from Keenan Allen, Brandon Cooks, and my defense.
You might actually get it from Keenan Allen, so I should shut the fuck up. But
well, and then you still have a player too. So I need that player to get 0, and then I need to get 100 points.
I mean, Sleeper gave you like a 1% chance of winning. They're just being friendly, you know.
Oh man, that team. I'm gonna be 3-3 in that league. That team. Oh, I lost Mike Williams. I lost Deontay Johnson. I lost Khalil Herbert. 14-man league. So, thankfully, I think I'm getting Deontay Johnson back this week. So,
Deontay Johnson. That's the name of my team in that league. So I wish you all the best of luck. And I have Tyreek Hill and Raheem Mostert in that league. So I've got like 2 of the top 2 running back / wide receivers, and they're on the same team. Shout out Mayor of Miami. It's almost like I knew what I was doing this year. Maybe, I don't know, in some respect. But this is the thing. I told you this. I'm now 6-0 in this league, and I've got a clear shot. I've got one of the better teams in the league to get to the championship in this league, right? If I go 3 in a row against a bunch of you analysts, ooh, I might have to change the name to Fantasy Millionaires. I don't know. But I'm excited. I'm excited. So you guys got to come and get me now. Mike tried. He could not get me. Who's up next? We'll see next week. You know, maybe Money Metal Cakes. He's in the league this year, and he's crushing it. He's in the playoffs if the league ended right now. Thankfully, it doesn't. But he's up there. He's a top 4 or 5 team. So we'll see. We will see.
Yeah, my team is slumming in that league. I'm happy to be 3-3. I actually was, I don't know, top 3 in points. I don't think after this week's output, though. I mean, it was rough. Jerry Jeudy's on that team. That was
You mean Steve Smith's bitch?
That was crazy, right?
Honestly, as much as like we like this kind of, you know, in your face Twitter culture, I don't think that's that professional to call someone out and be like, hey, I was talking about him on my podcast, and I just want everyone to know I still think he's just a guy. It seemed a little venomous and like a little man syndrome from Steve Smith, which he's always had, which which when he did it to DJ Moore when he was a rookie, he was like, man, who should I play on my fantasy team? It was funny. It was hilarious, right? It was great. But just to see it look a little personal, a little mean against Jerry Jeudy, and Jerry Jeudy did not take it well, man. He lost his shit. He started like going back and forth on the sidelines, like, oh shit, dancing around. That is not what you want to see in your wide receiver.
I didn't see all that. What happened?
He was dancing up and down the sidelines while Steve Smith was doing interviews and stuff, and he was just like, oh yeah, and he was just talking shit. You know what I mean? He was just raising the T levels in that exchange. And then he chirped back at him a couple times, just saying some things. So
then he played so bad.
He played like dog shit, right?
Yeah.
So shout out Bo McBrayer. Glad you were here, my friend. The 3rd member of the Fantasy Millionaires, honestly.
He's coming on soon. We're going to start doing guests pretty soon. We got to get Cakes on. We got to get Bo on. We got to get Jorge on. We got to get Steve Carter. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, seriously. So, and Bo, I've not been able, sadly, I've not been able to do my chalk block show the last 2 weeks because I've had 2 events that have centered around, fuck cancer, basically. The Hope for Henry Gala, which is a great experience where we get to go and raise money for a great cause that helped our family, and then also the Light the Night in Rockville, where we got to raise over $750 for a great cause, Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. London was an honored hero. Fox 5 did an interview for her. So, but all that aside, it was a football weekend like none other. I have to share a graphic with you. London is a big deal, man. She's the real deal. She's awesome. This is not the graphic that's going to pop up originally, but I'll get over to it. This is crazy. This is the injury report, folks. This is just one of those weekends. Justin Fields,
was he concussed?
No,
Or it was his hand, right?
His throwing thumb, right? His
throwing thumb.
Yeah. And so not great, right? And then you had Trevor Lawrence, banged up knee. He's got a matchup on Thursday night. Not that great, right? I'm going to talk about him later. Ryan Tannehill forced from the game, and Malik Willis becomes a statue. And I love how the commentators are like, the only thing Malik Willis cannot do in any of these situations is he's taking a sack, is to take a sack. Oh, he's taking another sack. Malik Willis with his 3rd straight sack. It was just, they were on
What happened to Will Levis?
I mean, Will Levis is down big right now because he didn't even sniff it. Jimmy G's hurt, by the way, hurt his back. Baker dinged. Christian McCaffrey might be the most important player in fantasy. He's got an ailment here. Not good. Not good.
Obliques and ribs. That's what they said. I don't know. I'm not too. He might play this week, so I'm not as worried about him.
Yeah. No, he might. Will Levis is, even though people think I'm a truther for him, I'm not. He does suck. David Montgomery, your boy, got knocked out of the game. That's not good.
X-rays negative.
But still, you don't want him getting knocked out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a bad weekend. Kyron Williams went out.
And Williams, dude, and Ronnie Rivers.
You know what I'm saying? Tyreek Hill was out for a little bit, too. He was dinged.
He just got a cramp from running so fast. He's so fast.
Yeah. We had Garrett Wilson get dinged a little bit. DK Metcalf just dinged for being stupid. You know,
he hurt his hip and then he came back in.
Yeah. And my favorite part was him just tossing that guy, you know. So that's not good. That's not good. Out a while.
Monty out a while. Why is he going to be out a while?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you would think, T. Higgins was out 1 week and he has fractured ribs,
Man up. Next man up.
I mean, I just want to know what his intel is, because I would think he's going to get back in there. Rib cartilage tear. Oh no.
Hey, that's a bad one. That's, ooh.
For a running back. I know Justin Herbert had that last year and he was playing, but it was a little different if you're a running back. Dang.
Right. Yeah.
Not good.
No, not good. And in general, just a bad week for the injury bug, hitting a lot of the stars and going into a super bye week where you got a bunch of teams on bye. No 2 teams on bye.
There's no undefeated teams left either.
No, not at all. So yeah, it was the
really Miami Dolphins, the 73 Miami Dolphins can already have their party. They have a party every year. Once the last
say fuck everybody else.
Yeah.
Good for them, right? Good for them.
Sure.
I mean, if I was to win a championship and go undefeated, I would get together with myself and have a good time. So
yeah,
for sure.
I don't think there's too many of them that are still alive, but I think there's some. So
yeah.
Week
7 is going to be a rough one. Some of these start sits and waiver wire, elevate, mitigate, eviscerate, all those delicious events we like to talk of. They're going to be slim to pickings, but you know what? That's how it goes on the bye week blues. That's how it's just fantasy football. You got to adapt. Week 7, it's never been a good week. It never is. Bo knows. And week 6 wasn't a good week for Bo either. By the way, I beat him in the clash of beards and bellies, 4-2 overall, up 2-1 in years. But I'm thinking I'm up a lot, just in pride. So. Okay, it's okay. I could be rubbing it in a lot more, but I'm a gracious winner because I know when he does catch fire and he starts trouncing my soul. He's going to have no mercy, as he shouldn't. He should not have any mercy on me at all. But what stood out to you besides the injuries for me? Anything else that just kind of got your head spinning, or there's a lot of defense.
Yeah, I mean the Browns beating the Niners. I told you when we were this was before the injury news, but I think mitigate was Deshaun Watson. I think you said to mitigate Deshaun Watson, and I just remember saying I was very interested in that game.
Yes,
because I thought the Browns were going to be a formidable opponent, and I was like, I really want to see. Like, I thought they had a sneaky chance of winning that game, and then they did without Deshaun Watson, like nuts. So the Browns, man, if they can get him back, they're just another really interesting team in the AFC, because before he got injured, to me, he was playing like dog poop sign emoji at the beginning of the season, but and his accuracy was off. But I watched there be some progression in him just playing that same old Deshaun Watson style of football, and that's how he got injured. So, but if they get him back, I'm interested. I mean, the Browns defense is legit, dude, for them to do that. So
yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you, Bo, but I mean, without Debo and without, I think he's overrated too. I mean, listen, we went viral, man. We know what we said. We know it's on the internet, right? We saw the bookmarks. Let's victory lap today. No,
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Pump the brakes on.
I agree.
On Purdy being overrated. I mean,
the stars, which I mean, everybody is Jerry Rice and Joe Montana. You can have both of them, but you have them together is what makes them good. So Purdy elevates, or is getting elevated by those other players. But I mean, he's also putting the ball perfect in their spaces and giving them opportunities to go.
You can just watch a highlight package of this year, and he has looked phenomenal so far. Except for that game. That game, he did not look good. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I do. You talked about, the injury to Deshaun Watson. So I wanted to, it was perfect timing. I was going to use this for 3 tweets, but I have another one. So this is an Ian Harditz tweet. This is referring to Deshaun Watson. And so I'm going to pull this up real quick. Hopefully it's working, and I didn't mute the screen over here. Let me make sure I'm unmuted. Oh wait, I'm on the wrong screen. Okay. Nope, not muted. Okay, so the Ian Harditz, this is Adam Schefter tweeting out, says, to be specific, Deshaun Watson's shoulder injury, it's the subscapularis muscle per source. As long as it's affected, it hinders his ability to throw the football. And so then this is Ian Harditz responding to that tweet. Here we go.
You have your ubulus muscle that connects to the upper dorsimus. It's boring, but it's part of my life. I'm just going to grab this shirt if you don't mind. You have your ubulus muscle.
Oh, I love that. So yeah, it's one of those nerdy little things, but it's not
it's not good.
Not good. It's not good. Like, he can't throw the football, right? And then you saw there were some really good passes by PJ Walker, by the way. It was not bad. It was not bad at all.
Yeah, I mean, I just think if he is able to return, I mean, the subscapulus muscle, what's the timeline on that healing? I mean, it's a muscle injury, so
right.
I would think, he's gonna be back in a matter of weeks. But yeah, I think he could still be out for a little while. And then all the momentum that he was building in starting to look Deshaun Watson-y again, is that all gone as well? Does he come back and play like trash for a little while again too? So we'll see.
So this muscle right in here, if you look, it's this middle one right in there. That's important. I'm sure this one that connects the bottom of your shoulder over here to your arm is really important for throwing the football. So yeah, thank you, Wiki. And no, I'm not going to give you $7 for that. Sorry.
Never have I ever.
Yeah, never ever will I. But yeah, he does. Yeah, of course. I mean, here's what you don't know. He was massaging himself. That's probably what happened. He was trying to get himself going.
A
So
little self massage.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not safe for work. Let's just say that type of
Yeah.
massage. Yeah, business decisions is right. He won't play the 49ers. He'll be back this week. But anyway, all right. Let's jump in. We've been bullshitting enough. It's time to get the banners going. And the first banner that we're going to jump into is trades to get paid. And we like to go into PFF for trades to get paid. They're one of our favorite tools that I subscribe to, and that I pay the mucho dinero for. So let's jump in and see what they think of some of our trades. Who you want to start? Sell high, buy high, sell high, sell low, sell high. Where are you?
You
in the
tell
buy?
me, boss, where you want to go.
Let's talk about selling first, because I've got some sell high. I think I'm in the mood to sell high right now.
All right.
And hopefully you've got a good one. My sell high is Sir Derek the King Henry.
He was my sell low last week.
It was your sell low last week. Yeah, I would sell him high this week because he had a 19-point performance. He looked good. He had a lot of carries. Man, this team is going nowhere fast, and I think we can see it kind of happening in front of our eyes. Tajay Spears is just he's not better at all, but he's just somebody who cannot be ignored in that offense. They are going to give him the football at times, and then also you see what he does when he catches the football. He can run. He can do the same thing Derrick Henry can do. He can take the length of the field with the football. So he's going to just kind of chip away, I think, too, at Derrick Henry. So he's riding high, almost 20-point performance, top 5 performance this week. So I would sell high if you're still in the market for Derrick Henry. If you didn't sell low last week, and now you've got a little bit more of a bargaining chip, and now I would sell.
Yeah, I think we've Derrick Henry has been featured a lot in trades to get paid, because I believe you sold high on him a few weeks ago. Last week I sold low, and now you're selling high. And I honestly thought about that as my guy as well, because and your guy last week for sell high was DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, I'm getting away from this offense. I just want you guys to know.
That's why. Listen, that's why I totally agree. I like the sell high. I considered putting him as my sell high as well. I just feel like we just talk about him a lot when trades get paid, but I think it's a good. Yeah, you can get value for Derrick Henry.
He's the biggest name out there that is, you still might have a guy or a gal or a person in your league who identifies as a Derrick Henry lover.
Well, I mean, like, here's the thing, and this is why
3 rushing touchdowns, though. I mean, barf.
This is why I like it as a sell high. I think it's a good, like, you can get somebody really good for him. I don't think if you're redrafting now, he's gonna go that much lower. You know what I mean? Like, like if we redrafted tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, and we saw the season that he's had so far, he still looks great. Like, he looks like Derrick Henry. It's just, again, like you said, Tajay Spears creeping in the mix, and just, again, their inability to decide to give him targets and just create an exciting offense. I mean, that offense is just, I don't want any part of it either, man.
Shit. It's a dog
really
shit
is.
offense. I'm sorry to Mike Vrabel will come up here and eat my children. Did you see that video of him with the boys from?
I love that show, by the way. We've never talked about it on this show. That show is so good. Busting with the boys.
With the boys, and he starts getting in a fight with is it Will?
Yeah, I've watched it like 20 times. It's hilarious.
Yeah, they're gonna like really fight. He's just,
it's
like,
so funny. He says something about Will Compton's chiclet teeth, and then he tries to like give him a pound, and then Will Compton like makes it awkward. It's so cool. Those guys are.
I love Will Compton. He's
dude, they are so money, man.
They had Tom Segura on there. That was awesome. I love watching. Yeah, we should talk more about busting with the boys, but we actually have. We talked about Tight End University last a couple weeks ago, so we've danced around. We've salted the meat a little bit. If you want to talk about that meat salting man, but yeah, Derrick Henry is the guy for me in the sell high at the moment. Who's your guy that you're selling high?
Zach Moss. I'm
I thought about him actually. I did.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking,
Yeah, I mean, so he
sell him
had
to the Jonathan Taylor guy. Tell him to him.
right. Sell him to the Jonathan Taylor guy. He got himself a touchdown. That's nice. But and you know, I said sit him last week, and nice
Yeah,
week. But it was touchdown dependent.
it was.
Here's the thing. He did have 6 targets, so that's why you can sell him. Like he looks like he's still relevant in this offense. 7 rushing attempts. Okay. Like Jonathan Taylor is back. He's a bell cow back. I just think the usage is just going to continue to trend down for him. This is why I was all over Breece Hall versus Dalvin Cook. As good as Dalvin Cook is, right?
Yeah.
Breece Hall is there's just levels to this thing. Like Breece Hall is the elite of the elite. Dalvin Cook is, was the elite of the elite a while ago and is not the elite of the elite when you're comparing him to Breece Hall. Now you take Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss, right? Like Jonathan Taylor versus Dalvin Cook. Okay. But this is Zach Moss. Okay. I'm sorry. It's a good time to sell high.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think he's exceeded his ceiling already, and you can make a move. What about your sell low? Who you selling low on?
Man, I struggled this week to come up with a sell low. I don't really have anybody good. I'll say that the person that I decided to come up with, who I would also buy. So it's like kind of
Iffy.
yeah, I'm ambivalent about my choice, but Jordan Addison, I think, is a decent sell low. That offense to me is just going to be, it's just not going to work without JJ on the field, right?
I agree.
There's people out there that are gonna might have wanted to draft him, and you sniped them, right?
Right. Dangle them.
Yeah, I think you could probably get a decent return. And like I said, I wasn't in love with this sell low because I might buy too. It's like so. I mean but it just doesn't look like this. They need Justin Jefferson to. I mean, they already were kind of sputtering as an offense, and now you take the probably most elite wide receiver in the league off of the field, and it's just like wide receiver 2 theory doesn't work, right? If you don't have that wide receiver 1 alpha to make the defense have to deal with him, right?
Yeah.
So they can key in on Jordan Addison,
right? They can stop him. So
right.
Yeah, I agree. What about your buy high? Buy high.
I'm going to go with Chris Olave as my buy high.
Oh, I forgot my solo. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, do your solo. Yeah.
My solo is Michael Thomas. Speaking of that offense, we'll talk about Shaheed later, but just Michael Thomas, the name, I think you can get a little something from him, maybe from a truther who didn't get him. Like you said, somebody wanted him, and like the Jordan Addison kind of sniped him. Like, anybody said anything to you about Michael Thomas in your draft, text that guy this week right now, or lady, just give him a text. Just be like, hey, Michael Thomas, how's it going with Michael? See if they want Michael Thomas, because I think you need to move on for Michael Thomas because he's got a 5.6 yards per catch average last week. I mean, he gets lots of little catches, but they're not worth anything. He's not the deep threat. And Derek Carr's not good enough. He's not like a pinpoint accurate guy who's gonna like ding ding ding. Great. He's not Drew Brees, right? He's just gonna give him little 6 yard, 7 yard, 8 yard. He gets tackled. He doesn't have no run after the catch ability with this guy. It's just not his thing. He could throw deep to Devontae Adams because he's wide open. He's doing triple moves on guys. They're falling down. He's dancing around, catching the ball like with his back foot. Here, little 6 yard slant boy. He can't do it. It's not good. Get rid of him. So that's my solo.
Yeah, I honestly, I think he made my top 2 or 3. So I was thinking about Michael Thomas as well. I'll tell you the interesting thing though is like he's wide receiver 43 in the BFFs.
Mhm.
So like his floor and his ceiling is the same. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
he does
Right.
he does get you
9
10 points, you know what I
points.
mean?
9.2 points.
Right. So there is that, right? So I
Right.
mean, like especially like during bye weeks, you know what I mean?
Right. You might need a guy to get you 9 points. You know,
Right.
just to keep the ship afloat.
I mean, it's a very solid floor. Like, you know,
Yeah.
he does get targets.
If
So
you're risk averse, trade right now for Michael Thomas. And if you like a little bit of risk and you like to ride roller coasters, man, Chris Olave, ooh yeah, talk about him because he's your buy guy.
yeah, he's my buy guy. I think
Only one
you know,
touchdown. That's a problem so far. You know.
yeah, one touchdown. But again, what you know, and it's not like it's that high of a high, right? So I think it's a good buy high time because um what happened with that offense when Derek Carr hurt his shoulder. You know, he went from, you know, 10 targets, 11 targets per game to, you know, nobody being able to deliver the football to him. And
Right.
now Derek Carr has healed, his shoulder is back, and he's back to 10 targets a game. I want guys that you know are have you know 40-yard TD potential, right?
Right.
And are getting 10 targets per game. So like, I mean, everything about that guy shows that he is, you know, he is really progressing at the pro level, you know, as a route runner. You know, he like it in dynasty, you know, I would want as much of that guy as I could get.
Mhm.
I think, you know, the touchdowns are coming and you know, the targets are back after
Yeah.
one game. So
Well, I mean, you can see the consistency, right? Yards per reception 14, 14.3, 13, 13.7. I mean, that's big play. That's you know, you're going to get by the safety one of these days.
Mhm.
And that's going to get you those long 80-yard, 70-yard touchdowns. So I like it. All right. My buy high, if I can remember, is, oh, yes, his name is DeAndre Swift, right? And I really this offense for the Eagles has struggled a little bit, actually. If you think about it, they just lost, right? We talked about the no more undefeateds. They lost to the Jets. They tried to run the clock out and they couldn't, right? They couldn't actually do their own offense anymore. They got stopped by a good Jets defense. And then the Jets went down and scored a touchdown on the Eagles, whose defense this year has not been that good, right? They just have not been. They gave a bunch of points to Washington. But DeAndre Swift has, I mean, just he had terrible rushing yards, but he had 10 targets, 6 targets, 4 targets. He's got 3 touchdowns so far. And except for the first week where he didn't really play coming off an injury, he's had double digit points every time 27, 14.8, you know, basically 15, 18, 17, 18. And he really hasn't done that well. He's only rushed for a couple hundred yards twice, found the end zone a couple times. So I think his ceiling is going to improve. And so right now, I'm not sure where he is in the BFFs, but if you go back to all running backs, because, you know, all running backs do matter. Actually, not all running backs matter. But if you look at all,
he's like 7th or 8th.
yeah,
1, 4, 5th.
yeah,
6th,
he's
7th.
seventh here. And so I like that a lot. I like it a lot. So
Right.
I think the offense will get better. And if they have to pass the ball, guess who they're going to throw the ball to? DeAndre frickin' Swift. So I'm all about it.
I'm with you. I had him as a buy high week 3. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like
Yes, you
I mean, I mean, it's the Eagles. That offense is just gonna, you know, continue to do its thing. And yeah, they found their guy. Like, so I'm with you, DeAndre Swift for sure.
Yeah, 5.3 yards per carry. I love it. I love it so much. It gives me a boner, you know. So it moved, Jerry. It moved indeed. Okay. All right, what about your buy low guy? Who you buying low right
Dude,
now?
you want to know my buy low guy? Literally, he could be on your Eviscerate list, and
Okay,
this is me just thinking like in terms of going for value, right?
Right.
When could you buy lower than right now on Jahan Dotson?
Oh my gosh, yeah, dude, Jahan me that drop. Oh, not good. I
I,
watched. You could have gone
he,
for.
he had 0 points, 0
Yeah.
points. But meanwhile, he's on the field the entire time. Like, so like, I mean, you could find the guy in your league that has Jahan Dotson.
Ooh, it's me probably.
Trade him the worst guy on your bench, right?
Pick up somebody off the waiver wire and trade him.
Totally right. Like
Right.
yeah, put in a good fab bid this week. But there's a bunch of running backs we got to talk about. Put in a good fab bid, and they might have, there's 6 teams on a bye this week, and they don't want to put Jahan Dotson on their lineup, and they want to put one of those good guys. I just think it's a good time to buy low, because the talent is there. It is kind of a head scratcher why through 6 weeks of the season he's having just such a low output, when he was such a red zone monster in last year when he was on the field. But here's the other thing. I mean, whether this changes or not, it certainly changes if there's any injury to either McLaurin or Samuel, and Samuel does have a history of that.
Yes, he does.
So I just think it's a perfect opportunity to buy low.
I like it. My buy low is Mike Evans. He's had a couple of games where he's struggled, and Baker's struggled a little bit yesterday against Detroit. Detroit's defense is legit. They went in there and they brought a lot of Detroit fans with them too. By the way, they kind of took over that stadium. Kind of like the newest thing to do is to go crash another person's stadium. It's really interesting. Like, we live here in Washington now. The fans have been doing that for decades. It's just how it's been
crashing for so long.
Yeah, but now it's a thing in the NFL. We're like, we've been doing that. They suck for a long time. But I thought that was really interesting to see. But Mike Evans is somebody who is going to be streaky. He's going to Mike Evans you, right? He's going to give you the weeks where he gives you 4 points, 8 points, 7 points, which he's been doing. But then he's going to give you the points where he gives you 27 points, 29 points, 2 touchdowns. So I do think there's a bounce back for Mike Evans coming, and I would want to be on that side of history with Mike Evans. So I would look for a Mike Evans owner too. They're frustrated. That'd be 2-4, and you might be able to kind of pry them out of their hands. That's my thought.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, he was somebody that went so late in drafts this year. I did not understand it. And has been just killing it, minus this last game. So, and in this last game, it was so fluky. I mean, he had drops. Baker one time, he would have had a 90-yard touchdown if the ball hadn't got blocked. Yeah, man, if you can get him, get him.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with him always has been streakiness, right? And
I feel like only last year was it streaky. Like, I mean, the guy has 1,000 yards every single year of his career, and last year was the only year where that was potentially in jeopardy. He went bananas right at the end of the season.
This is streaky here, right? I mean, 7 and 9. I mean, that's a little bit of a dip. For sure.
What is this year?
Yeah, this is right now. He had 18, 29, 17, 7, and then 9. So
7 and then 9. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
but he got his hamstring injured in that game.
He did.
So that doesn't count. I would say this is the only game where, he went out before halftime in that game.
Yeah,
right?
Because Marcus Lattimore as well in that game too. And those games
But he had 7 points in a half, like 14 points for a game. This is the this was his bad game,
Right.
and he dropped balls too,
Yeah, he
right?
did.
He dropped balls. It just bad game.
Yeah, it's true. All right. Let's talk a little bit. I'll shut this down here. Let's talk a little bit of The Wire.
All right,
So,
The Wire.
The Wire. The Wire. Brought to you, as always, by Living in Maryland and HBO. No. Let's talk quarterback quickly because I think you said it earlier. There's a lot of running backs to get into. Who are your guys at QB who you're looking to target if you need to pick somebody up for the bye week?
I think there's two guys. Desmond Ridder is really starting to improve in terms of a fantasy asset. I think he's definitely worth a consideration. Everybody's got to be really excited that has Kyle Pitts and Drake London, and Jonnu Smith now.
Yeah.
So, he's got the Bucks this week. It's not the best matchup, but he's using his legs. He's being who, this is, and we're all guilty of it. I know I'm guilty of it. You start moving through the season, you get 4 weeks in, and you just, you're just like, this guy's hot trash. And,
right.
Meanwhile, they are learning to play the hardest thing in the world to do, quarterback in the NFL. I don't know if you saw this. CD Carter had a tweet. I don't know where it's at right now, but he was responding to something. It was something to do with quarterbacks or something. He said there's only 18 viable quarterbacks on the planet, and when I saw it was at 5,000. I was like, damn, that's crazy. But it's true, right? I mean, it's everybody loved that tweet because it is the hardest thing in the world to do, in my opinion, is play a quarterback at an elite level in the NFL. It's just, in terms of scarcity, that's it. That being so he's progressing. Can
I toot my own horn? I did tell everyone to pick him up last week and to play him. I put him in Elevate. That was my Elevate guy. Just want to say,
nice.
And Sam Howell and him, by the way, top 5.
Nice. Yep. So you're already on the Desmond Ridder. I'll tell you another one too. Tyrod Taylor. I don't know if you were watching that game last night, but man, I thought he looked like, first of all, that offensive line is they're literally like, picking up people out of the XFL. I mean, they're like, they are in so much trouble. And you think, okay, it's not Daniel Jones' fault. Well, Tyrod Taylor almost beat the Bills. Like,
right. The clock management, just
dude. Again, I know you've been going to bed earlier. I watched that whole game. I'm telling you, he looked like a little kind of last year's Geno Smithy, where like this guy has been in the league for a long time and was doing things as a pocket quarterback that you're not seeing Daniel Jones do. He was making that offense work with just a god-awful offensive line. And they honestly, they could have won that game. They were pass interfered.
I saw that. Yeah.
I mean, they should have had another opportunity to win that game, and they would have, been half a yard in. They could have handed it off to Saquon, and it would have been game. They would have beat the Bills. But meanwhile, Daniel Jones has some type of neck injury that I think could be career ending. Right.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's a bigger deal than people are talking about. You have to be paying attention to, read the fine print on it.
Look at that fucking neck on him, though.
Right.
Huge fucking
neck. You need all your discs to work right with that thing.
You never stood a chance with that giraffe neck. I mean, it was always getting injured, right? I mean, I'm saying, but oh my God, I'm very sad for him. That's not good. I have him on some teams. I had Had to put him out
Yeah.
to pasture. But what do you think about Gardner Minshew? He's right down here in that Tyrod Taylor backup camp. Anthony Richardson might be in the Daniel Jones camp and might be out the whole season too. They might be shutting
Right.
Anthony Richardson down. So Minshew mania. If you need someone this week, are you buying into him?
They play the Browns, so
Maybe a stashing cash.
Yeah, it's a decent stash. It's a decent stash for sure.
Yeah. I'm just wondering who else is down here in the muck and mire of so many people are injured or hurt or questionable. It's a bad week too. So
meanwhile, Tyrod Taylor plays the Commanders. So
yeah, I like it.
Interesting matchup. Yeah,
I like it. All right, let's get to the plethora of running backs here because there's a few that we need to talk about. Why don't you lead off?
I mean, all right, and you add to this list because these are all people that are going to be of consideration. Jeff Wilson Jr., if he hasn't been snagged yet, probably is going to be coming back this week. Elijah Mitchell, Jordan Mason, Craig Reynolds, Latavius Murray, Kareem Hunt,
Kareem Hunt.
Zach Evans.
Yeah, what about Tajay Spears? He's under 40% rostered right now.
Right, if he's still out there too. Yeah,
I mean he is. He's 40% rostered. I'm not. I look right here, 39% rostered. I make no jokes, right? So Kareem Hunt's only 26%. Elijah Mitchell 26 as well. Get those guys. You need them for sure.
Latavius Murray
6% rostered.
Right,
6.5% rostered. So
yeah, and there's no more Damian Harris for a little while. I don't know what the severity of that injury was, but another scary moment last night in Buffalo where he was on the field and there was an ambulance on the field. But again, watching that game, Latavius Murray, he's 33 years old and he looks phenomenal.
Yeah, he's never lost that tall, lengthy, power back runner.
That Eddie George style of body.
Right. Like, where's the Ray Lewis to that Eddie George? No, I'm with you. And, maybe Zeke as well. You saw a little bit of a banged up Ramondre. You saw Zeke get the goal line touch down there. So if Zeke's just at 40, I know it's a name, but, he might be out there as well. So
sure.
Less than 50%. Less than 50%. So, all right. What about wide receivers? What about the wide receiver position?
Yeah, I mean, there are going to be a lot of guys that have already been rostered or whatever. But Raheed Shaheed, if he's out there, obviously,
13% rostered. He should be out there.
Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yep.
Kendrick Bourne, somebody that was probably picked up and cut because it was the Patriots, but who I said eviscerate everyone on that team last week.
Yeah, that's true.
Kendrick Bourne. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you who I think. We'll say out of all the people who we want to pick up at the end, but somebody I'm extremely interested in is my man Kadarius Toney. Who's out there?
You're back on the Toney train, huh?
I'm back. Hey, listen, here's why I'm back on the Toney train.
Yeah.
It's the longest he's ever gone without being injured. Like, it's a trend.
6 targets is good. He just had -5 yards.
Listen.
That's a crazy number. Oh, it's a crazy number.
We both know, right? We're fans, right? I mean, you even drafted him against my wishes. I said, do not draft this guy this year.
I know.
I said I'm not drafting him. Well, I'll tell you what, I've picked him up in a few different leagues and stashed him and played him in the 14-man league. He's not injured and there's no injury like that. I mean, to me, that's the big problem with him. So if he's out there, I just think there's a boom game coming, right? Like, I mean, I said at the beginning of the season, I did not think Sky Moore was going to be the guy. I
Yeah.
said I thought it was going to be between either MVS or Rashee Rice. Okay, MVS ain't the dude. It's Rashee Rice. Well, I was off Tony because I was just like, he's just going to keep getting injured, and that does seem to be what happens. He has already dealt with like a toe injury,
Right.
but he's on the field, and week 7 versus the Chargers, that could be a jam right there.
I'm gonna advocate for Rashee Rice actually, because he is not rostered. He's down there in the same place where Tony is.
I would take Rashee Rice over Tony.
Yeah, he's 30% rostered compared to Tony, who is 22% rostered.
Yeah.
In our league, Rashee Rice is not available.
Right.
Somebody has him. So we got a pretty tight league here, as you can see. This is actually our league, so I'm not trying to put our people on blast, but they got abbreviations. So, but yeah, okay. Tight ends. I've got Michael Myers, Halloween.
Yeah.
That's
Michael
who I'm.
Mayer, or is it Mayer?
Mayer. I'm just saying Michael Myers because it was Halloween.
Michael Mayer, dude.
Michael
That
Mayer.
guy, man. I wish we'd brought him up earlier. I mean,
I drafted him. I just, because of their offense was so shitty. He's available 98.6% of leagues. So
no, you had him on the draft shows. Like,
yeah, I talked about him
around. So here it goes. He's
finally getting off. Finally doing it.
Yep.
Yeah, a little late, but Michael Mayer, good for you, bro. Yeah. I mean, listen, 75, 15 an average. That's a wide receiver right there. The game before he averaged 19 yards a catch. Woo, that's big time. I love that. So, 4.5 targets the last 2 games. So, yeah, that's my guy. Anybody else for tight ends?
Nope, that's all I had.
Travis Kelce, get him. Get Travis Kelce. Anybody of your defense you're targeting this week? It's a ghost land. It's not great. The
Bucks versus the Falcons.
Yeah, or the Falcons versus the Bucks. Either one of them.
Yeah. Either one of them. But I'll take the Bucks and that.
Better. Yeah, it doesn't really sucks more. Yeah, no, I like it. I'm not sure if I have a defense to pick up this week. I think I'm just holding. Just for me. But hey, no offense. You kind of thought the Seahawks Cincinnati game was going to blow out. I wish it would have, man. I had a little bit more DFS money on Cincinnati than I hoped for. But anyway,
I know.
I thought the game would. I don't know what happened. If it was in Seattle, maybe, but I don't know. Okay. Well, I think that's all. Not for the show, but for the wire. Let's jump to elevate, mitigate, and eviscerate. One of my favorite. We'll start with the elevation zone here. And we'll bring it back to us so we don't have to scare people too much. But it's us again. Hey, good to see you, buddy. I like your little Wolfman Jack soul patch on your beard there. I've got mine all in my hair, and then it's spread throughout my beard now. So I'm on both sides, But
I just got my one little flavor saver patch.
Yeah, you're So, but I digress. I do. Let's talk a little elevation here. Last week, I do like to recap, and I'm not recapping yours because I don't. I'm stuck in mine. Last week, Desmond Ridder, I told you to start him. He was QB4. I also told you, and you said the same. I remember Tyler Boyd, wide receiver. He was a top 20 wide receiver. Dallas Goedert got you 10 points, right? Jags D, they were there. They were crushing it. You had some good calls as well. I know Boyd was one of your guys. So the elevation is important. These are kind of guys you can pick up that can get you 20 points. Like Ridder got you over 20 points last week as a QB. So this is a week where I think this is going to matter with buys, people coming off buys, with waivers being kind of dry, and some people maybe being available. These guys might be also people you pick up off the wire, or maybe you had. I don't know. So we might have mentioned a few of them before. But who's your first elevate QB?
I'm gonna go. Yeah, there's six people on 6 teams on bye this week, and again, just a suboptimal performance from Geno Smith. But I really like this week's matchup versus the Arizona Cardinals. He had over 300 yards, right? So he's moving the ball, and I just think that this is going to be an opportunity. an opportunity for them to like really kind of go off. Like I think that this is, and meanwhile the Cardinals are tough, but they are, that they're just a weird team. They
Right.
kind of streaky, play team stuff, but as a pass defense, they are, the very bottom tier of the league, so I think this is an opportunity. Geno Smith has looked, to me, great. It's just there hasn't been a lot of passing touchdowns, and got a little dinged up before the bye week, but everything's all good, and I just think that this is going to be the week where he finally puts up maybe like a 30 burger.
I like that. That's strong to quite strong. My guy is somebody who's not played great, so it's a little bit of a risk in that. Jordan Love kind of did hot start first couple weeks of the season. He's just flinging it around, and then he just came crashing back down to earth. But guess who Jordan Love plays this week? Coming off of a little break, which the team definitely needed. You're going to love who they're playing. They're playing Russell Wilson, Denver Broncos, Sean Payton himself. So I like Jordan Love to bounce back. They give up 21 points to quarterbacks, and then to wide receivers, who are tied to quarterbacks. They're not super great against them either. And so I like that for Jordan Love to be able to kind of go in there and kind of rebound and make a little bit of a dent in where he's kind of sucked in the last couple weeks for sure. So he might be available on the waiver wire. Somebody you can pick up, or maybe you stashed him. And I think this is the 1 week where you get out there and you play a little Love.
I like it. Yep. I do like it. I think he, he's young. And so he's had his moments like last game where I think he threw 3 interceptions, I believe. But it's a good opportunity for them to get right versus just the sputtering, spiraling Denver Broncos.
Yeah. I could see a shootout developing there where you got some bad defenses. Broncos can run. It might be a Javonte Williams foreshadowing. But anyway, I like it. What about for running back? Who are you elevating?
Well, is that your guy, Javonte?
No. I think he's probably somebody who you should be playing anyway. I know he kind of didn't do great last week.
Maybe. I mean, that's why I thought he might be your guy, because
I would definitely advocate for starting him.
He's definitely been benchable. He has been.
But I think against the Packers, you can play him. The Packers are not great against the run.
I was considering him as my guy. But yeah.
I mean, he wasn't my main guy, but you definitely can. My thought was, maybe giving Brian Robinson another chance against the New York Giants. That was more my.
I like Brian Robinson. So my 2 guys that I was deciding between. So I'm glad you said Brian Robinson was because we try and pick the not no-brainers, and I think Brian Robinson fits that guy. I think my guy is more of a no-brainer, but I like the 2 guys I was choosing between for this part was Brian Robinson or Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah, I like Pacheco. I like
that offense is so weird. I think that they are going to be a problem. I think that they're going to go right back to the AFC championship game. But they're not going to be unless Kadarius Toney or Rashee Rice just kind of does step up and starts being elite. They're not going to be the Kansas City Chiefs that we've ever seen. And I think a big reason why, well, first of all, their defense is better. It's just a different team, and they don't care. They don't care. Like these guys are not there playing for stats to get better contracts. Like they are all in to try and win another Super Bowl. And I look at them as kind of, one of these Patriots teams from the past where they're just going to figure out the angles. Right. And right now, Isaiah Pacheco is that angle. Right. Like,
good.
No, I was just gonna say, he's like, this is probably the last week where we can say, oh, you should start Isaiah Pacheco, because it's just gonna be like he's auto start, especially after this week where he plays the Chargers.
Yeah, the Chargers. I said Vikings. I misspoke. I meant the Chargers.
Right.
I saw yellow, and but no, it is it's a great opportunity. I think I was big wrong on Pacheco as I faded him earlier in the year. I think you should definitely. I think I talked about buying high on him before. I think you should still buy high on him if you're looking to do that. Yeah, but Brian Robinson for me, I think the Commanders games, the Giants games have always been a tough matchup, a ground and pound type matchup, and I do think that this will be another matchup like that. And I think that the Commanders will have to kind of run the football. If they want to win the football game, they can pass the football, but I think that running will kind of just be, they're going to be on the road in New York. They don't play well in New York. They've gotten their asses kicked in New York the last like 20 years of our existence, at least. And so I think you run the football with Brian Robinson a lot in this game. And I think he's going to do well. I think he's going to be able to put some points on the board. And, the Giants have a terrible, like you said, XFL hybrid team. So, I mean, if the Commanders can't run on them, pack it in, boys. You're not, your 3-3 is a mirage. They're 3-3, right? That's their record.
The Commanders, yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, they should be 5-1 or 4-2. They should beat the Eagles. So, but whatever. I'm just talking some mad shit. So, yeah. What about you? Anybody wide receiver wise you're elevating this week?
Same game, dude. I want Wan'Dale Robinson versus the Commanders, dude.
That's my guy. You stole my guy. Guy. Yeah, I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, man, he
8 for 8 last week. Just looked tight.
Dude, I'm telling you, that offense, I sat Saquon Barkley on teams that I had him because I was just worried. Like, the news was scary. Like, is a game time decision, and he looked great. Like, I mean, for whatever that ankle thing was, which was just a few weeks ago, and couldn't walk off the field. He looked so great. Was breaking off big runs. That offense with Tyrod Taylor, I don't know, man. I'm excited about the Giants. Like, I think that they're gonna. I mean, they just played the Bills super tough. I think Wan'Dale Robinson is a big reason why too, man. Like, just that those short little PPR points, dude. So, yeah, it's. I think it's a good week to kind of flex them in.
Last week we both were into the excuse me, Tyler Boyd.
Mm-hmm.
Both. Whenever we're both on somebody, I like that. That's a trend that does bear well for us. So if you're a Fantasy Millionaires listener, I would bear heed, deep heed to that Wan'Dale Robinson. We already talked about my guy for tight ends, and that was Mr. Michael Mayer over there in the Vegas. Play him. Play the man. Play the man his money. I would get him in there. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's where my brain's going. He's got the target share. He's got the yards per target. I like so.
Yeah, man. Go back to your Jordan Love guy. I'm going with Luke Musgrave.
Ooh, I like that.
Broncos are the last in defending against the tight end, and I think he had 8 targets last game, something like that. So they're using them. And this is an opportunity for them to use them again versus a team that is the worst at defending this position.
That's bad, right?
Tis bad.
Yeah. And somebody like Musgrave's not going to be probably rostered. I'll look and see in ESPN for the tight end. So you could probably.
He's been going in and off of rosters.
Yeah. Right now, let's see where Mayer's at 1%. Musgrave's at 17%. So you got a nice baker's dozen plus chance. You're looking good there. So yeah, no, I like it. Okay. Where are we at next? Okay. Defense.
Bucks D.
Yep, me too.
Bucks D.
Double stampies, no races. Yeah, Bucks D, 100%. I love that call. Okay. Mitigation zone. You want to start mitigation zone? You want me to start mitigation? We need to get
I'm
some
gonna
like
go QB Jared Goff versus the Ravens. Kind of a crazy call, you know. I mean, it doesn't sound crazy to say mitigate Jared Goff historically, but this season, the last 17 games, Jared Goff is one of the most elite
yeah.
quarterbacks in the league. Uh, Watching the Ravens play on Sunday, I think that they're going to give every team they play a problem. I think their defense is going to be, legit. In this game, they're playing at Baltimore.
They have Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith on their team, right?
Right.
Right.
I could see this game being just even though the Lions are good, man, like they are good. They are a good team. Like this is gonna be a fun game to watch. But Cash's prediction is as long as the Ravens don't get stymied in the red zone as they've been, kind of doing so far this season. I mean, all that Lamar Jackson talk that we were both kind of, Lamar MVP talk that we were both kind of like, yeah, I don't know, bro. Man, I am seeing it. Like he looks so good. I mean,
his receivers need to help him out a little bit.
There's just been just different kind of fluky things, but meanwhile, there is nothing wrong with him. I mean, he looks right now like the creme de la creme at the position.
No, I'm with you. My sit is Trevor Lawrence, and it's two reasons. One, his knee. It's we don't know what's going to happen right now. He's got a game on Thursday. He's an early game too, and he's at the Saints. So all of those things kind of align right now. The Saints, they give up the 7th most points. They give about 13 points per game. They've got 8 interceptions. This looks like a game where you might lean on Travis Etienne anyway. But I'm a little iffy on this with Lawrence. I am saying this also. I was surprised at how well CJ Stroud did. Now they were at home. That makes a big difference. The New Orleans Superdome is an insane asylum. So, but I was really impressed with CJ Stroud. We're not going to talk about it that much because we talked about it previously. But what a great game! So
he looks great. Yep.
Yeah. What about you at running back? Who you mitigate?
I'm going Colts RBs versus the Browns, dude.
That's a good call.
I don't want either one of them. If I have either one of them, I'm looking elsewhere this week.
Yeah, the Browns are there. I mean, they hurt Christian McCaffrey, the sons of bitches. You know what I mean? You motherfuckers. So sorry for cussing. Yeah. Well, my guy is Rashad White this week. He's going up against the Falcons. We mitigated. I did Brian Robinson last week. I think he got 3.8 points, something like that. Like, and you should have mitigated him. So Rashad White, not great anyway for the Bucks.
I thought Brian Robinson got a touchdown.
Did Brian Robinson get a touchdown?
I thought he did.
Did Brian Robinson? That's a good question. Let's go back and look and see.
For some reason, I remember Brian Robinson running it in on my red zone experience.
Brian Robinson running it in for a touchdown. I'm going back. I'm checking right now.
Pretty sure.
This is in game 6. Oh yeah, he did. Well, 13.6. God damn it. Oh, well. Oh, but he still averaged 3.1 yards per carry.
He had a nice. It was like, I think it was a reception.
Yeah, he had two for 25. But
yeah.
I'm saying make sure you play him anyway. But Rashad White is who I'm sitting, because I think Atlanta is going to stop them, and I think Mike Evans and you can beat them through the air like the Commanders did. So I think that's what Baker's going to do if he's healthy. We'll see how he feels. But I'm sitting Rashad White. I think he's not somebody who you can trust anyway.
All right. Wide receiver for me. Already mentioned it as Cello, Jordan Addison versus the Niners.
Yeah, that's a good one. The Niners are pretty good against wide receivers. So I'm not going to go against that at all. I'm sitting same idea you had with the running backs. I'm sitting Michael Pittman versus Cleveland. I think that Gardner Minshew is going to get terrorized, and I mean, not that he can't be found in the middle of the field, but I think that you might be getting the ball out quick to tight ends, maybe to Josh Downs, maybe to Michael Pittman, but I don't know. That game might just be Gardner Minshew fleeing for his life. You saw what they did to San Francisco, and Gardner Minshew is Gardner Minshew. So I think you mentioned it earlier. Don't play him if you pick him up this week.
I'm going tight end. I'm going Gerald Everett versus the Chiefs. Again, that Chiefs defense is probably the best defense that Patrick Mahomes has ever had. And I just think that this is going to be a game that is kind of their style is just controlled, slow. And I just don't think it's going to lend itself to Gerald Everett doing anything special.
Yeah, I just saw your lovely wife jump in and said, "Ask Cash about how the Golden Queens are killing the Ruby Kings." And
I drafted that team for her, so yeah.
Oh, shots so fired! Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness! And then, by the way, our guy Jabin 3PP. No, sorry, Jabin 33 P33. He said Ursay said Richardson is probably done for the season. Oh,
Right.
Not great. So all right, we gotta wrap it up. The wife is that's a nice way to say it. The wife's like, getting it on. I'm gonna mitigate your boy Zachy Ertz this week. So I like Zach Ertz. He's a good guy, you know what I mean? But he's going up against the Seattle defense that's pretty stiff to tight ends. Pretty stiff. They've only given up 200 yards, only 18 receptions, no touchdowns. 7.6 yards per game. That's not good. I don't like that. So Zachy Ertz, you always like to elevate him. I'm mitigating him. He's back.
I either elevate or mitigate because he's right there on the bubble. So
yeah, he's a mitigate for me. So
he's featured a lot in this segment.
He is. We like him.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm with you.
Right.
I'm going to go defense. I'm going to go again. Go back to that Ravens game. The Lions defense has been they are a good defense, but I just do not like the matchup this week. I think the Ravens are going to at home. I think they take care of business. I just wouldn't be surprised if things work out in this game for the Baltimore Ravens finally, and they just they played an elite level.
Yeah, you're always calling BS, which I think probably stands for bologna sandwich.
She's made some moves. I'll give her credit. She got Raheem Mostert. She's done some things. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, you give her wife credit, which I think you did. I like that. Okay. All right. I'm gonna be the Eagles defense. If you've been playing them, you probably roster them. I'm mitigating them. They're playing against Tyreek Hill. I'm sorry, playing against Mostert. I don't like it. I'm not doing it. So Eagles, I'm sorry, I'm sitting you down. But all right.
Who do you want to cut?
Dak Prescott. Is he playing great
We're
right now?
eviscerating people now. Dak Prescott, he's been featured before. He's getting featured again.
Yeah, I cut him every week just in case people didn't do it the week before.
Yeah, cut Dak Prescott.
Copying and
as
pasting
we like to say on the show, cut Dak Prescott.
Yeah, cut Dak Prescott. Help your team
dude,
be better.
There's three kind of running backs I want to get rid of. Zach Charbonnet, I'm done with you. Damian Harris,
sad.
Sad. Neck injury, not good, but gone. And then Matt Breida, gone. Yeah. Saquon Barkley, back. See you, Matt Breida. Then everyone's favorite waiver wire pick, $62 in the crab cakes. Imari DeMarcado. Buy. That was a $62 bid.
That was so funny. I saw that.
And then I got Keontae Ingram for $0. I was just like, yeah. The starting running back.
People are dumb. That makes me laugh. Are you gonna eviscerate Jerick McKinnon? What about him? Very
Well,
evisceratable. No.
he's right there, like Gus Edwards. Like there's a couple of those committee backs that I think are like they're on the cusp, but I
Yeah.
might still hold on to them.
Okay. All right. Any wide receivers that you're eviscerating?
That's it. No, that's all. I just gave you all my guys.
All right, that's it. I have nobody else either. Just Dak, and then slam dunking your guy. So you ready to do a little DFS stacks of cash?
Let's build it.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to build it. That's what
I think
she
we
said.
go. I think we go Isaiah Pacheco and Brian Robinson as our RBs, and then we can. They're going to be like 5,700,
Pacheco.
5,800.
Yes.
Pacheco and Robinson.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Do we want to
You
look
could
at
get Wandale on the cheap, and then we could buy studs.
Okay, let's get Wandale on the cheap. It's like the all Robinson here, right? We got Wandale. He's only 38. I like that.
Right.
I mean, Brian Pacheco, and now you want to do QB studs? That might
Let's
be
look
the
at
stack.
QBs. Yeah.
So we've got Pat Mahomes. I don't like Pat Mahomes as receivers unless you want to go Kelsey. Like that's really the only option we have. I mean, we could do Tony, but I don't like his target share. You want to get somebody with a lot of targets.
Lamar. Let's do Lamar and Mark Andrews.
Lamar Jackson, and then tight end Mark. It was only 5,700. That's nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's check a defense, and then we'll go heavy bone with our studs.
Yeah.
And,
Heavy bone with the studs.
Yeah. All right. Defense wise,
I mean, we might be able to go heavy bone with the defense.
the Ravens are only 2,500. Do you want to do the
I
Ravens?
like it. I like it.
All right, so now we're at 18.5 for 3 positions. So let's be wise. We can look at wide receivers and running backs.
I mean, Stephon Diggs. The guy's an auto 20 points per game.
Yeah, I like that. Let's look down in the cheaper section.
It gets nasty as soon as you get down here.
Do you want to do any Drake London against Tampa Bay? He's 5,100. It is nasty. It is nasty.
It gets nasty real quick.
Yeah, I want to stay up near the top of this.
What about DK Metcalf?
No, he's got that hip flexor thing. I mean, maybe.
Makes you nervous.
He makes me a little bit nervous. What about Cooper Kupp?
I mean, I'll always do Cooper Kupp.
At least it was $100. Never.
Yeah.
Mind.
So yeah.
Okay, so we have to be a little frugal here.
You go Tyler Lockett.
How cheap is Tyler Lockett?
He's up. You gotta go up.
No, because then we won't have enough. Yeah, maybe. Okay, Tyler Lockett's not bad. I like that. That's actually good. Okay, then let's see in our flex where that leaves us. 3,600 is not terrible, right?
I mean, I feel like Wandale Robinson is a cheat for 38.
I agree. All right, down here we've got, we've got a lot of grossness.
What is Tony's value? Or Rashee Rice? Where are they?
They're
Are they all the way up there?
Here, I'll just go look and put it.
Type in Tony or Rashee Rice.
47.
47. How much? They're both 47?
38 is Tony.
38.
Let's go look at their defenses again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, let's fiddle with the D. Who we got down there?
We've got nothing. Cardinals Chargers against Kansas City. That's just so scary. I mean, we could do Chargers against Kansas City. No one would have that.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Chargers versus Kansas City.
Because we don't actually have. We have Pacheco though. It's kind of troubling to have their defense and our running back.
Yeah, if it's just a low output game.
They've got Tony as well. We can't do that. We can't have two players. Let's stick with the Ravens. But then let me see. Instead of Lockett, would we want to do Laporta? No. We could do. No, I just think we have to go down and pick somebody in the 36 range. I just think we have to just find somebody
Let's
down
do
there.
it.
Yeah, it's the stuff you have to do. You got to suck out, right? So
Yeah.
you can do
Use Sky Moore.
Is Sky Moore down here?
Yeah, he's 35.
All right, Sky Moore. Well, that's fine. We'll settle for Sky. Okay. Excellent. All right, there we go. We are in. All right, you ready for 3 tweets?
3 tweets it.
All right, let's get to let's go home. That's me. And then I'm gonna go into the millionaires to you. And then in here. All right. Which one am I
Go up
going
to
for
the
you
baby.
first?
Go up to the baby.
To the baby.
Yeah.
Hold on,
I got to
I'm gonna
read it.
go. Okay, hold on.
This is from Field Yates. My almost 4-month-old daughter said her first words today, Daddy, let's watch 14 hours of football. There's no way I would ever let her down. I hope you don't either.
Oh my gosh, look how cute that is. I love that.
It's awesome.
Oh my gosh. I missed this tweet. I have even my notifications on for Field, but that is precious. That's awesome. Mine is going to veer away from preciousness to something I sent you.
Now
Did you watch it on YouTube?
No, I didn't. I meant to watch it. Thankfully, I didn't.
Oh, good. I found it here too. This is
Good.
a comic, everyone. This is a joke. And he's letting you know it's a joke. And he's letting you know that he's a comic. And you'll see. His name is Ryan Long. And it says, actor not sure, or he's an actor, not a comic. Actor not sure if he's supposed to support Israel or Palestine. And so, you know what? I think this is kind of how our show is going to make our stand as well. So here you go.
a few days now, I still haven't weighed in on Israel-Palestine. I honestly don't know who to post. Usually it's easy. BLM, bang. Ukraine, bang. COVID, bang. Hey, did you do your Israel-Palestine post yet? I've never missed a stand. So who'd you go with? I look at my phone, I see a lot of Republicans supporting Israel. So I go, maybe stay away from that. Then I see a lot of the people we've been calling Nazis supporting Palestine. But then get this, the people that we've been calling them Nazis with are happy Israel's getting attacked. Riddle me that. But there really is no easy answer here. Did you do your Israel-Palestine post yet? No. What does your manager think of that?
I'm retired.
Oh, you don't have representation right now? Obviously, I was at the front lines of getting mad at Kanye West when he was doing the anti-Semitism stuff. Everyone was thanking me for standing up for the Jewish community. And so naturally, I'm seeing this happen. I go, okay, we're back with the Jews again. I see Kylie Jenner post for Israel. I think, okay, the word's in. Then boom, she's getting killed on every angle. So it's not Israel. So I start doing a bit more research. I'm seeing queers for Palestine. And generally, you want to be on the side of the queers. If you look at the things, you're not going to get in trouble if you go with what the queers are saying. Then Mia Khalifa, who we obviously support, is posting with the queers. And she's getting fired from her job. The whole reason I'm posting this is to get in better standing with my job. And by the way, I started to see that your silence is noted post popping up. So we're running out of fucking time. If you had to pick, who would you say? If you kind of have to choose, which is sort of what a situation I feel like I'm in. I got one of them.
I love those black ladies. They're my
A
favorite.
buddy of mine booked a Geico commercial from his Ukraine TikTok. So it happens. Feels like we like decolonizing. What is decolonizing? Is that just like killing the people? That's literally what I was saying, man. Normally it's pretty easy. This one, I just want to post one of the flags and sort of be done with it. It's tougher than you think. I'm getting yelled at if I post Palestine. I'm getting yelled at if I post Israel. It's starting to feel like, if anything, I'm the victim here. I'm looking on the internet. I hate Jews for Palestine. I kid you not. Also, I'm watching the parades. We're talking Times Square. Between me and you, when I see a bunch of brown people having a parade, I think it's a pretty safe bet to be on their side. Never failed me before. I mean, people are probably texting each other right now, wondering where my statement is. Israel, though, probably, right? Yeah. For me, it's a little more complicated as a Gentile, you know what I'm saying? Maybe if I look at who's getting sentenced, that's a good place to look. Like follow the YouTube warnings. And then I'm looking at UN women, thinking, you know, follow the sniz, whatever the women say is usually pretty good. They're just posting random shit that has nothing to do with it. Trans lesbians or lesbians. Can I just go with that? And random blanket posts. If you're like, hey, lesbos, just so you know, lesbos with dongs are still lesbos. Stop avoiding the dong lesbos. I can't. I feel like it's the wrong move. But you go in Israel or Palestine, you're thinking, no, you could. Oldest trick in the book, my friend. I wish I could do the same. Like, if Native people in America took down some girls at Coachella, I'd probably be like with the natives against me, right? Like that seems right. I can talk to my representation for you if you're. Palestine's got to have Jewish people there, right? Like Palestine, isn't that? Am I being messed with here?
That's hilarious.
I thought it was so funny. I thought you.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you win. Way to go, ballsy.
Thank you. Thank you.
With the retweet. Yeah, it's hilarious. You win.
Thank you. Well, you know, I've got two I want to show you. I was going to show this before, but we featured a lot of like fan fighting on the show. You know, so this is in the Chicago Bears Vikings matchup. This gentleman here, watch him. He's yeah, watch what happens. Here you go.
Boom.
Boom.
That's rough.
That guy just side cocked that guy in the head. He's like, I'm coming back for more. He's like, back down you go.
That old man is a problem.
Yeah. Boom.
Jeez.
Yeah, dude, that's not good. That's not good. Another fan fight. It was from Dove Kleiman. He posts them all the time. So those are wild. But I want to show you, this is how I feel. This is my soul. I don't know if you've seen this. Have you seen this?
Please.
Have you seen this yet?
I saw that.
This is really how I feel. I made this meme myself, right? So just enjoy this. This is the truth of my soul.
I just like a please.
So I say it in jest, but I just want to watch a game without Swifties. And did you see the SNL skit? They went hard with Swifties. They had Travis Kelce on there.
No, I didn't even see that.
Oh, okay. I'll send it to you after the show because it's, you know, we got to jump out of here. But yeah, dude, I gotta say I don't hate Taylor Swift, but you know, it is becoming a little annoying. I just want to enjoy football, you know, and you know, Swifties are a bit much. So, but with that being said, great show. Do follow us, the Fantasy Millionaires, over on the tweeters. If I actually go back to myself and find me, oh, there I am. You can go check me out, Scott Simpson, Nimble W Numbers. I am half of the Fantasy Millionaires over there. There's me and my partner, the Ralph Macho. Go follow him as well. He's cool ass karate kid with the black. Are you a black belt? Is this what this is insinuating right here?
Mine's blue on mine. I just have the old blue banner up there. So
okay, nice. Okay. Well, excellent. Well, as always, my friend, you know, I'll let you close the show. So
all right. War, destruction, chaos, pain, and heartache to your opponents in week 7. Peace and love everywhere else, including Israel and Palestine.
Oh man, so much peace and love in Palestine. I'm praying for every single person who's over there and who has people impacted who are over there. So, and for everybody else, all of us. So, all right.